and that is Ilona Yusuf from Pakistan. Her poems have appeared in book form. Picture this, Alhambra Publishing, 2001, and thereafter in journals, in print, and online. Since 2017, she has been the associate editor of the Aleph Review, one of the premier journals, literary journals from Pakistan, and has recently edited an anthology of Pakistani poets writing in English since 2001 for Alhambra Publishing, with whom she began her editorial career in 2005. She has presented Pakistani poetry at literary festivals since 2012 and written essays on the subject for international journals. She's also an artist. She makes artists' books as a way of combining art and literature, and designs jewelry as well, which she has not noted in her brief biography that she sent me. So, Ilona, very humbly, I'm going to request you to please unmute yourself and share your poems with us. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Akas, for having me again. And I sent you 3 poems, and I have changed one of them. So I am going to read a very old poem. It's about my grandparents, my Polish grandparents. So this one is called Memoriam. There's a combination of rays of slanting sunlight, the smell of damp earth, massed clusters of hydrangeas thrusting bold faces forward, cupping crystal raindrops that unfolds memories. I will always remember my grandfather. He was the youngest and the family runaway. A neat, small, jaunty man whistling Ochecharnie, with his nicotine yellow nails, his cracked, humorous voice, laughter-crinkled eyes, a laugh that sent anger rolling off his back like water off a duck's, and the shrunken muscles of old age. His tenderest gesture was to comb my thick electric hair, shaking out its tangles, telling me jungle tales of snakes and Latin America in a lingo that was not Spanish, nor Polish, nor English, but all 3. But never talk of war or the Dunkirk landings that returned him to Europe. He died in an instant, a 20-second heart stopper boarding the ferry at Hook of Holland, soused and merry with a case of vodka and a pair of antlers from his long-lost brother, drinks on the house in the train after the homecoming, an exuberant return to his roots. But that was long after her. I will always remember my grandmother in her square of garden that grew one of every kind of flower, bright fuchsia, mild lupin, blushing rose, dainty violet, marvelous massed clusters of hydrangeas. Behind her face was a legacy of widowhood, camps, potato fields, deportment, the struggle simply to survive that lined her young woman's face in just 5 years. Her hands were crimped with arthritis, her back bent with lumbago, far from the seriously beautiful woman with secretive eyes in the salvaged photographs, intent on the fiddle wedged beneath her chin. This other husband brought her simple things to smooth her ruffled mind, and she'd grumblingly take them, starushkim, starushkim, in her crimped, curled hands, trim and nurture them to living color, humming life, generation of bright and silent children, nodding in the breeze of a sunny childhood day, while humming Black Eyes, he'd humor her with his mild smile. So the second poem is completely unrelated to any activism or any personal history, and this is just a poem on, I had chosen 3 poems about art, so this is one of them. Auerbach, so it's about Frank Auerbach. Each sketch is an impression, a mood, one of many, vigorous, contorted, that culminate in exuberant, explosive, a tour de force, vast chimneys, violent shock of buildings counterposed against city sky, wild color, sweeping seasonal winds in the wide space of heath, faces, bold black strokes, the final defining details that frame it, grant character, gouged, scraped out from thick squeezed color. And the third one is ceramic. Part one is about ceramics from the Far East and part two from the West. So ceramic scene at the Leum Museum of Art in Seoul in South Korea. Part one, almost a negation of self, perfection within form, unblemished glaze, mirror sheen, green celadon, celestial playfield of wealth, brush strokes made with a pattern of repeated variables, the single stroke on a crane that makes it soar in flight. Then buncheon, white, rough bamboo stalks slash brushed in iron oxide, almost abstract. Even on a modern urn, tradition prevails, enhanced by nuance, motive, composition. Mother of pearl lotus floating beneath its topmost layers of mustard glaze, transparent as new leaves. Part two is after ceramic scene at the Arizona Art Museum. The artist would impose his will upon the clay, taking it almost to abstraction, contorting the human figure, rough stacking slabs, urn, teapot, daring principles of form, function. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilona. Again, privileged to have you present your poems here to us again this year. And again, very moved by your poetry, the craft of your poetry as well. We move on to our next reader. From Pakistan, we go to Greece. And we have another very distinguished poet, Dimitris P. Kraniotis. And Dimitris has also read for us last year as well. I'm so glad he's able to join us again this year. He was born in 1966 in Larissa Prefecture in central Greece. He studied medicine at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. He lives in Larissa, Greece, and works as a medical doctor. He's an internist. He's the author of 11 poetry books. His poems have been translated in 36 languages. He has participated in international poetry festivals. He's director of literature, academician in Italy, president of the 22nd World Congress of Poets, president of the World Poets Society, director of the Mediterranean Poetry Festival, and chairman of the Writers for Peace Committee of PEN Greece. I would request Dimitris P. Kraniotis to please present his poems. Dimitris.
Thank you for the invitation. I will read 5 poems in my language in Greek. First poem. -1. Τράβηξα τη γη για να σκεπαστούμε, μήπως φορέσουμε απόψε, αφοπλιστικά και ανέμακτα, τις λέξεις που χθες φτύναμε σαν κουκούσια. Μα μην μου απαντήσεις βιαστικά. Περίμενε τη σειρά σου στην ουρά. Περιμένω απαντήσεις από σένα και από μένα, ξανά και ξανά. Ως το χθες. Ως το σίγουρο και απροσδόκητο, -1 το ασανσέρ. Υπόγειο, αορίστος και ντόκος με θυμό. Ποια λογική νοικιάστηκε από τη φαντασία μου απόψε. Μα δεν θέλω η λάσπη να ζυμώσει τα κορμιά μας, γεμίζοντας με -1 αύριο ρίζες λωτών και μύθων. Now the second poem. Ιαννός. Πολυκατοικία πια η γειτονιά μας. Το ασανσέρ κολλημένο μεταξύ ρετυρέ και ουρανού. Και εμείς μέσα, συνοστισμένοι άνετα, χωρίς ανάσα και χωρίς σήμα το κινητό μας. Στο παραπέντε απόδρασης από το savoir vivre, σαν έτοιμοι από καιρό για περιπτύξεις. Πότε προλάβαμε άραγε να ερωτευτούμε? Στο απόγειο μετέωρων βημάτων, στο υπόγειο ημιδηλημάτων του Ιαννού. The third poem is the red poem. Το κόκκινο ποίημα. Κόκκινο έβαψα τον ουρανό. Μέρες που μ' έχασα και μ' απαρνήθηκα, γελώντας ανέτεια τις έζησα. Κόκκινο έβαψα το νερό. Σε δάκρυα μ' έπνιξα και με διέσωσα. Ξεχνώντας τύψεις, με ξεγέλασα. Κόκκινο έβαψα το ποίημα αυτό. Με λέξεις μ' έσβησα και μ' ανέστησα. Γράφοντας μέμα, με εκδικήθηκα. The fourth poem, γραβάτα δημοσίας εδούς. Άρχισα να ξυλώνω τα ρούχα μου, ώσπου έμεινα γυμνός στη μέση του πουθενά, φωνάζοντας σε μια γλώσσα άγνωστη. Έτσι κι αλλιώς, ποιος θα με καταλάβαινε? Μα δεν με συνέλαβαν για προσβολή δημοσίας εδούς. Για να σταματήσω τις φωνές, με κέρασαν αψέντη και με έντυσαν στην τρίχα. Όμως τα κορδόνια μου δεν τέριαζαν με τη γραβάτα τους. Δεν άφησα ρέστα για πουρπουάρ. Δεν σκόνταψα διαγωνίως. And the last poem, κύκνιο άσμα. Το σπίτι μας σε έρημο, χωρίς πράσινο κήπο. Τα δέντρα από στάχτη. Διψάμε και πνιγόμαστε. Χωρίς γύρι άνοιξη, χειμώνας δίχως χιόνι. Ξυπνήσαμε, γεράσαμε, στον ουρανό το βλέμμα μας, στο χώμα πάντα μόνοι. Γέμισε η θάλασσα πλαστικά, χωρίς όνειρα πεθαίνει. Το αύριο ελπίδα να ζητά. Ένα παιδί φεγγάρι φωτίζει το μυαλό μας. Το δίκαιο μας θυμώνει. Χίλιοι νεκροί σκοτάδι. Εφιάλτης που εξαπατά της γης κύκνιο άσμα. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Dimitris. Really appreciate your participation. I'm so glad that you were able to again honor us this year. And we had the translations of your poems as well in chat. So, I think maybe not all of them were displayed, but I think a number of them were.
Mhm.
So we really, truly appreciate our audience. Certainly does too. Thank you. So we'll move on to Kerry Keys from the USA and Lithuania. Actually, he's based in Lithuania. Let me introduce Kerry. He is a person of many parts and rich parts, as it is. And our friendship goes back 25 years, 30 years more than that, actually. The fountain of Kerry Sean Keys' poetry is in the Appalachian Mountains, urban America, India, Brazil, and Lithuania. Kerry, please unmute yourself if that's all right. The roots go worldwide. From 1998 to 2000, he taught translation theory and creative composition as a Fulbright Associate Professor at Vilnius University. He has dozens of books to his credit. His work ranges from Under Mountain, Vagrant Pastoral, and Under Salvage, to theater dance pieces, to flamenco, to children's books, to meditations on the Tao Te Ching, to a polyphonic epic poem composed from his South India journals, and so on. He has performed and recorded with the free jazz percussionist and sound constellation artist Vladimir Tarasov. These books include Pianas, which are prose poems, tales and plays, Kitos, Keniagas, so bilingual English and German poetry, then new poetry from China, Black Eyes, and Shoelaces for Chagall, and a whole lot of poems, actually, and books that he has produced, over a score of books, actually. Kerry Keyes received the Robert H. Winter Memorial Award from the Poetry Society of America in 1992, and in 2005, a National Endowment for the Arts Literature Fellowship. He was a senior Fulbright research grantee for African Brazilian Studies and is a member of the Lithuanian Writers Union and PEN. He received a Translation Laureate Award from the Lithuanian Writers Union in 2003. He has authored a bi-monthly column, Letter from Vilnius, Eastern Central Europe, and Excursions Elsewhere for Poetry International, San Diego State University. He also translates from Portuguese. He is the Republic of Uzupe's World Poetry Ambassador and Chevalier of the Order of the Silver Garlic Bullet of the Republic of Uzupis. I would request Kerry to please come and share his poems. Thank you, Kerry, for being here. It's a privilege and an honor to have you here.
Thank you, Walkus. I'm hoping, I don't see myself here, but now I did unmute, so I'm not sure. But I can start, right, to read?
Yes, we can see you on the screen, and you're coming loud and clear. Yes.
Okay,
No
you see me on the screen, you'll see the strange bed. I'm in a rehab in Lithuania. I just had a new knee put in, so I'm in a kind of hospital bed with a strange computer, and I hope you can, I guess you can hear me, so we'll see. So I will read 3 or 4 poems, I'm not sure. So this one is, the first poem's for Eddie Hirsch. It's called Another Night. The house is too extravagant for my taste, enclaved behind security gates. From the bay window, you can see poplars and fig trees draped in plastic, and a guard who is always on duty. Occasionally, a car silently passes by, and school children skipping on home from their playgrounds resemble tiny swans in the falling snow. Such brio. I'm overwhelmed with the flush and joy of my own children as they put an angel on top of the tree. My messmates' lips and mine are red with warm wine. Lifting the glass, I offer my usual toast to happiness and death. I'm sitting on the balcony in Vilnius when in this poem, I guess it was conceived there, not written there. It's called Birthday After an Ode by Horace. A snowy, windy day, not my birthday, but I'm celebrating anyway, huddled with a bottle of booze on the balcony, shivering my butt off and probably the icy butts of anyone looking up at me in dismay. I guess long ago, folks scattered across the rooftops and into the cellars, trying to escape a systematic upfront, cruelest of enemies. But today, I think I'm safe and sound, though fortune's a fickle hound. I would like to honor the previous inhabitants, their smoking spirits, who likely are reenacting in eternal time the bullets that delivered them into the pits. But I'm not history's voyeur, nor am I up to it, or for that matter, worthy or even acceptable to tribal local politics. Already there are so many professional witnesses for whatever cause suits, many of whom take to the forked roads as trolling sympathetic poets. Well, I've survived another year, as I do each day from the year before. So join me, friends, light up a lucky strike, joining hands with the ghosts. I'll read 2 more. This one on a lighter tone, I hope. Some years ago, I was on a tour with a prince from Indonesia for a month around the States for the year of Indonesia. And I bought a wooden replica from Bali called an apsara, which hangs above my bed in Vilnius, very beautiful Apsara. So I'll just read a kind of poem for the Apsara. The balsam light celestial Bali Apsara from a long ago journey swings gently, slowly in Lithuania above my bed as it once did in Kerry, sharing the room and lamplight with an image of Prajnaparamita, who also shared space and night with me as I fell asleep quilt tight on Warm Springs Road to a country like so many called God's country, a present place beyond any place, inhabited by perfect love and grace. These are the guardians of my days, but it's the celestial maiden I gaze on as I levitate in a dreamy siesta rest, her azure wings, her sumptuous breasts. And I finish with one poem from a recent book last year of mine called this one I didn't send to you, Walkers. It's called What Am I? What am I this twilight in the cove of my heart? Cute mouse or rat, Wuhan bat, or a perch surfacing in the lake to catch the match of sunset? Am I the cobweb ranging across gnarled, frail fingers, or a hole in an aging brain where a soft, furry past welcomed time's bullet? Am I this thing or that? This leaf, the grass, the rising fat moon, or last beam of sunlight? Asleep, I'll be all of these tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Again, really heroic of you to participate from the rehab bed as it is. Appreciate your poetry very much. Thank you so much.